Welcome back, my friends. Today I have a different content of video. I've been speaking more recently about the importance of meditation in respects to not only your sexual practice, but every single facet of your life. I firmly know, I don't think, I know that meditation is a foundational skill, and there is no aspect of your life that remains untouched by the ability to discern focus. If you're making sales calls, you need focus, you need presence. If you're in social situations, you need focus, you need presence. If you're in the gym busting out that last rep on the bench press, you need focus, you need presence. If you're in an argument with your girlfriend or you're on a date, you need to have presence, you need to have focus, you need to keep frame. I cannot make it more clear than that. If there is not a period of your day that you are dedicating to this practice, you are robbing yourself of expert upper echelon skills. Skills which are indivisible from one another. And I wanted to share with you today a story that comes from a 33-year-old man who's been meditating every day for 1,000 days, and it has left him unrecognizable. So this video is going to be on the longer side, since you clicked on this and you saw. Perhaps you have some creature comforts with you, some drink, some coffee, some tea, and we'll go through this story all together. I'm going to add some nuance and color and some practical ways you can integrate this into your lifestyle with very little effort, if this is still something that you have been saying to yourself you're going to do one day, but it hasn't come into fruition as of yet. So let's begin. Thank you, Kaza89. I started meditation almost 3 years ago with no clear goal in mind. I thought if great people all over the world and throughout the ages meditate, it must have some benefits. Follow the signs, brother. If not me, if not somebody else, look at some of the greatest individuals that have ever walked this earth. There is a continuity in this practice of mindfulness. Little did I know that this single decision would change my life and my whole perception of it. And it all happened in stages. Stage 1, self-discovery. This stage took around 6 months of daily meditation, after which I've come to realize that I have multiple traumas. It also gave me the courage to go into these traumas, so I began therapy. I read multiple psychology and emotional management books. I started journaling, and I have done several psilocybin trips. I have come to realize that I have been playing a role my whole life, that my role distracted my education, my social milieu, and entourage. This is something that I resonate with very, very deeply. One of the first times, or I should say the first weeks I started meditating, I got very, very afraid. There was a tangible, palpable emotion of fear I was sitting with. And I couldn't sit still for more than 2 to 3 minutes when I started, because I was afraid. I was afraid to go into the trauma. I was afraid to start to dismantle and look at the role I was playing in my life, because I realized that this role wasn't true. It wasn't true of what I believed, the values that I hold, and fundamentally how I wanted to live my life. And that is a painful process, because it's a dismantling of the character that you have created. What is left when you dismantle this character? Nothing. Maybe only dregs. Maybe only small remnants of the individual that you think you are. Maybe only the food that you like to eat, or the music you like to listen to, or perhaps their lies as well. Perhaps you recognize they're not consistent or valuable or in any way helpful to the man that you are today. So it's a very, very painful process. If it doesn't happen to you soon, It will happen to you eventually. You begin to become more conscious of that voice in the back of your head when you speak words that come out of your mouth and that thought process behind it. Sometimes it will say to you, Joseph, why did you say that? Because you don't believe that at all. You catch yourself in little lies, and it takes a practice like meditation to be able to see it. And you may open up your window to start journaling into, or traveling into journaling or psilocybin, which has its, it certainly has its utility. The second stage is Old Selfhatred. I believe that's hatred. Here I started to hate my old self and what it represented. You can see the continuity here. I was kind of shocked by the fact I have spent my prime years being someone I was not, just to please people I specifically did not appreciate. That is a heavy lesson to learn. And you should learn that lesson sooner rather than later, lest you too spend your prime years trying to please people you really don't care about. Depression ensued. I lost my friends. Many of them I had to let go. I similarly went through this process. I recognized that the character I had created, a lot of it was taken for the company I kept. And the company I kept was poor, were drug users, were drinkers, were individuals who really had this kind of, what would you say, mantra of live for today and don't care about tomorrow. Their philosophy, and similarly my philosophy as a consequence of it, was really wrapped in let's pursue pleasure at all cost and forgo the future. That was how they lived. That was how I lived for a very, very long time. And you can end up wasting your whole life. I wonder if any of this is resonating with you right now. If there are a group of people that you hang around with and you recognize deep, deep down, these aren't my people. I don't like speaking to these people. I don't like going to the club or the pub or the bars every Friday, doing coke, drinking. In fact, the only reason I do it is because I'm lonely. Don't drink poison, even if you're thirsty. Stage 3 is acceptance of lost time. Here I have decided to build the future in light of my new perspective and let go of the past. After about 12 months of meditation, I decided to start working on my dreams and confront my fears. I felt lighter, without the burden of having to fit other people's expectations of me. That is a transformational process. When you drop the old version of you, it leaves more room in your carrier bag to pick up your dreams and ultimately who you want to become. I started a business. It was a dream I had since childhood. I decided to accept and work on my eating disorder. I used food to cope with emotional distress. I set multiple healthy habits to track, like no TV at all, reading non-fiction daily, studying spirituality. It's remarkable for me. I can see a lot of my early process of making this YouTube channel, making my Twitter, making my business. This is how it happened. It started with a process of meditation, and it went through all these stages. Understanding you hate the person that, or understanding the idea of your identity, disliking the identity and dropping it, recognizing that there's more time now and more energy to pursue the things that you actually want to do. All happens this way. Stage 4, outer space. From one researcher to another, I stumbled upon psilocybin many times. At some point, I thought it was a sign that I needed to try it. After weeks of gathering information and building up my courage, I tried it. It helped me release huge loads of emotional burden stuck in my body since forever. I tried it again with different set and setting. A playlist set up by Johns Hopkins University. Eyes closed, a clear goal, and trusted sitter. I reached outer space. I became nothing. I won't describe the state. I can't even if I wanted to. You're talking about the ineffable, the indescribable. You can only experience it. You can't explain it through language. You can only explain it and experience it through the senses. The experience gave me an even deeper outlook on life and beyond life. It helped me get rid of all my fears, and particularly the fear of dying. If you die before you die, you won't die when you die. I had been able to replicate the state through a much milder way through meditation alone. And now you hear the current trite saying regarding meditation, that it is practice for death. It is practice for the state of nothingness, of becoming the self, of becoming the witness, of just experiencing your body as an observer and not being identified with it. Those are two very, very different things. I too have experimented with psilocybin many times. It has been a resourceful tool for me. It's important for me to mention here for those individuals who may be curious about this, respect it. It is not something I do or will ever encourage anybody to do recreationally. I believe it is a deeply spiritual substance. And the same way you wouldn't go with your friends to do some cognitive behavioral therapy on the weekend because it's a laugh, you shouldn't approach psilocybin the same way. You should approach it like this individual is doing here. In your own home, maybe with a sitter, if it's your first time, get some paper, some pens, and allow yourself to have an experience of healing. I truly encourage you not to use it as something recreational. I believe that is not the purpose of it. And if you do it in an environment where it is in recreation, like a festival or something like that, which I highly discourage against, you'll get a terrible experience. You'll have a terrible experience. The context sets the content of the trip you will have. Meaning if your context is poor, if you're in an unstable state, if you're at a festival, again, in a very unstable environment, you have an unstable experience. Set the mood, set the intention, and it will be as healing for you as you want it to be. And I do this when I need to. Usually every 6 months is a good time for me to kind of have that experience, get some perspective, and move forward. But as our individual says here, you can channel similar experiences through meditation alone. So do not use it as a crutch to lean on. Use meditation as your practice to help you through it. Now that I think about it, I haven't actually done psilocybin in probably well over a year because my meditation practice is that consistent and that resourceful. Moving on to stage 5, depression. Here questions like, if life has no purpose other than getting to understand it has no purpose, why live anyway? I started to feel anxious to go through life as fast as I can so I can spend eternity in the bliss I have experienced. The business I have created generated 2 million in 2 years, but I did not see the purpose of it anymore and I let it crumble. The central product of the business was meat. I became a vegetarian. The girlfriend I was dating for 4 years did not follow me on this path of meditation and self-discovery. We became strangers to one another. She broke my heart and left me telling me that she needed more earthly life. This is where I truly believe an understanding of any religion is paramount to this experience. Meditation and religion are synonymous, right? There are meditative practice that there's a continuity with meditative practices in all religions. You know, you could even take the Islamic faith where they do their prayer. Their prayer is a meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be this cross-legged sitting on a Himalayan snowy mountain with monks. It can be Tai Chi. It can be Qigong. It could be walking. It could be doing the dishes. If you're present and you're mindful, you're meditating. But this essence of depression starts to creep in where you don't have an understanding of causality, I truly believe. He's saying this idea that life has no purpose once you have an actuality or an inkling that it has no purpose. That is a steep path into nihilism. And the way I would combat that is you have work to do here. It's not to say that life has no purpose. You give it the purpose. And you have to find the work that you have to do in order to reduce your karmic debt, which is going to influence your next life, your next experience. Now, I'm speaking from a Hindu perspective here because that's fundamentally where my beliefs lie in. But you can take the Judeo-Christian teachings and, you can market that and package that in a similar way, whereby if you're going to reach the bliss, the infinity of the kingdom above, then you have to understand that what you do here in life echoes into that kind of afterlife. I'm thinking of Gladiator here. What you do in life echoes forever, echoes in eternity. Butchered that. I'll leave it to Maximus Decimus Meridius. But here is where I'm wondering if this individual finds religion here. So stage 6, meaning. Fast forward to today. 3 years of meditation and still counting. I found meaning in using my daily activities to relieve suffering and spread hope. I work as a GM for 2 hotels. I manage people daily, so I come across a lot of suffering and discomfort. I have found my purpose in life, coaching people to become better versions of themselves. I found my passion expressing ideas through writing. I am currently building a blog and an online coaching business. I have healthy eating patterns. I wake up joyful and eager every day when I have negative thoughts. I recognize them and let them slide. For the first time of my life, and after 1,000 days of meditation, I truly feel happy and fulfilled. I meditate 2 times a day for 20 minutes, first thing in the morning and just before I go to sleep. This is the same time I meditate as well. I hope this helps you on your own path of meditation and self-discovery. Keep in mind that every person is different and experiences can seldom be replicated. Please do not try psilocybin in any form without medical supervision. What I will just add here quickly on the meaning front of things is a great way to look at purpose in life. Purpose should never be attributed to some kind of tangible goal that you can achieve, meaning unless I get $1 million in my bank account, then I have not reached my purpose in life, because what happens when you do? Because you will do. You have to wrap it around some kind of value and moral that you hold near and dear to your heart and to your soul. So this individual has found it in expressing ideas through writing, relieving suffering individuals, coaching people to become better versions of themselves. That work is never done. That work is never done. You can coach 1 million people and there will still be more people who are suffering, who need guidance, who need support. And that way, you'll always be doing God's work. You'll always be doing the universe's work. You'll always be in action. You'll always be relieving your karma. This is so important to understand. And you can see how a simple practice of meditating 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes before you go to bed has given this individual more fulfilling value than he could possibly have imagined. And I implore you to do the same. If not for this, which should be reason enough, you should be compelled because it is an indispensable skill to every single facet of whatever you do in life. As I prefaced, there is no area where meditation can't be of utility to you. When you're talking to your spouse or if you're having an argument, be present, be still. Remember, you still love each other. Be focused. Don't allow yourself to be taken away by your emotions. Be here now. If I can't convince you in this, perhaps there are other resources which I will implore you to look at. I always reference The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It could be Awareness. I'm forgetting the author's name here, but Awareness by, I'm missing it here. There are other books such as anything by Ramdas, the late Ramdas, who left his body. Various different spiritual, you could read the Holy Bible, you could read the Bhagavad Gita, you could read the Tao Te Ching, you could read the Quran. All of these things will give you the sentiment from which it proceeds, which meditation proceeds, and is going to be of inexorable utility to you and your life moving forward. And gentlemen, today these are not theories, these are facts. I appreciate you being here with me. It felt like a meditative experience to be here with you, and I'm so grateful that you are here with me if you've made it this far. But perhaps some of you have been distracted because you haven't been integrating the meditation practice, and you are the people who need it the most. But I digress. Maybe another teacher will find you one day. No theories, all facts. Speak soon.